After race number 1, John Bowney leads Glenn Seaton now by 76 points, and he'll start out of position 2 for race number 2 today alongside Stephen Johnson. Glenn Seaton on the second row with Tony Karamfilowski, who drove very well yesterday. Cam Tilley and Eddie Abel-Nika clawed his way back up into the top 6. Jim Richards and Wayne Mercer staying on the 4th row. Back to Leo Tobin, Mark King, Brad Tilley and Adam Bressington, who they repaired that car up overnight. In fact, both white line cars had to be rebuilt overnight after those incidents in race 2.
It certainly was, and the teams do a magnificent job, but we've got a drama here. It just doesn't sound all that flash, really. It sounds like a gearbox or a diff with a couple of teeth missing, I would say.
See it rattling right through the driveline section.
And this being what the infamous Murray Walker would say, the last race but one.
Last race but one, exactly. They come around. That was Wayne Mercer limping around back to the pits, but it's Johnson and Bow. Rolling starts in Touring Car Masters. They've stacked them up nice and tight here. Coming down to the green flag. This could be the championship moment for John Bow. But we're underway in race number 2 here at Sydney Olympic Park, and Johnson's gone nowhere. Drama for the Super Falcon, pulling to the left-hand side, and what a shame.
That's disappointing, but obviously there's something gone wrong, which I'm sure he wouldn't be all that happy about.
Great evasive action, though, to get out of the way because the field were coming behind at a rapid rate of knots.
Well, you could see there was something happening prior to the start because Bowie was fractionally in front as they went to the line.
So that opens it up nicely now, puts Tony Karamfilowski up into second place. He's having a great day, or a great weekend, I should say, in the Touring Car Masters. The sweep on 3, down to treacherous turn 5 for the first time. You get the feeling that Bowie just wants to wrap this one up.
Yeah, he's going now. Obviously, he forgot to turn it on.
Oh, no.
It'll be interesting to see where he comes through from here.
It'll spice the race up.
It certainly will.
No question. Down they come to turn number 8 for the first time. So Bow, nice margin as he locks the left front for a split second there. Eddie Abel-Nika, who was trying to claw some points back, and drops down to 3rd because Glenn Seaton's up to 2nd right now. If Bow wins this, he wins the championship.
Well, you know, Glenn Seaton's done a fantastic job, and here's a passing move there because Eddie Abel-Nika, who had a colourful weekend, shall we say. And,
nice way to describe.
Tony Kay, who's done a terrific job over the years, and boy, hasn't this guy improved.
He stepped up a lot this week, particularly in qualifying, but yesterday I thought he was very impressive getting up inside the top 5 for that finish. There's Jim Richards coming down to the bottom of the Olympic Park train station section with Cam Tilley on the outside, and rarely you see 2 cars go too wide there.
I think we saw a bit of an issue there yesterday in the supercar race.
Yeah, Todd Kelly was in target there for a top 10, and Johnson's got the car back to the pits, but clearly a problem with the 17 car.
Yeah, it seemed when it was coming up to the line, it sounded as though it had a speed limiter on or something like that, so it's obviously got a bit of a misfire. But Glenn Seaton is forging his way forward now, and I would suggest that he's looking to hope that he gets some more points today, because all JB's got to do is finish the races, and he's well and truly in front. But in saying that, all you've got to do is have one little problem with the car, like the Super Falcon here, and yeah, you're in trouble.
He's lucky because he had Seaton pushing him along there. He got out of the way and let the field go on by, and now the 17 trying to fire it up. Maybe electrical, perhaps?
Well, she start but no commence,
yeah.
You know? Yeah, there's obviously some sort of electrical problem there, which is unfortunate.
Meantime, we go back to the battle here for 3rd and 4th position. Get down onto Dawn Fraser Avenue. Bowers out in front here by a good margin already. It's out to 4.5 seconds back to Abel-Nika. To watch Seaton making the pass now down the inside of Tony Karamfilowski.
Seaton certainly making his way forward, because you know he obviously got held up by the 17 car on the start, because it obviously didn't want to go.
Big angry pack of cars coming through the backside of the circuit here. The 2 white line cars that were repaired last night. Everybody pitched in to get these 2 cars back on the circuit, including the Leo Tobin crew and the TAFE Smash repair team. That's how much damage that was happening to those 2 cars.
And actually, when you have a look at it, I think that the Valiant is the standout performer. He's really putting in some extremely good time.
He was praying for some hot conditions as they come through to complete lap number 2. Let's head down to pit lane with Cameron Vandendungen.
Yeah, we've got Stevie J not going anywhere, mate. Not the way you want to start your Sunday.
Nah, not ideal, but you know, we had a good day yesterday, and you know, the old XY was going pretty good, but it seems like we got some sort of a little electrical drama at the moment, so we'll see if we can get it running and get out there this afternoon.
Thanks, Stevie.
Cheers.
It's a cruel game, this motorsport. Thanks to Cameron down there in the pits.
Yeah, it's one of those things, mate, that you can do not a lot about except preparation. And I must admit that Steve Makarios has done a great job with that car over the last 12 months to get it to where it is.
It's been around Touring Car Masters since the inception, some 10 years ago now. This is the 230th race in the history of the Touring Car Masters. Going from strength to strength, we've seen a lot more new cars and some familiar names that we've seen in Australian motorsport for many years.
Yeah, and he's Rusty French. Oh, this is, oh boy.
That was, I had to hold back things. I didn't know if you could pull that off, but that was pass of the weekend right there.
Yeah, Rusty, I'm sure he doesn't want to scratch his car at this late stage of the championship. It's an absolutely magnificent car, that.
But Adam Bressington
and Tilly
takes Tilly with him. Rusty French is inside the top 10. We've got some different names in the mix here right now that we don't often see this far up in the field. And now Jason Gomersall lines him up for a pass alongside the Olympic Park train station.
Well, yeah, that's very strange because I know that car's of Rusty's got an awful lot of horsepower and it's very fast, a straight line.
Never turned out a bad car in his life. As this is the pass from the bottom level as Bressington, after they repaired this car last night, sweeps around the outside and just a couple of millimetres in it.
And even Mark King, like his car was pretty well damaged, and they got that back out and going, oh, gee whiz.
Gomersall. That'll get the heart rate up. Saves the tyres on the left side anyway.
Absolutely.
Now there's Brad Tilley. We saw smoke coming out of that car yesterday, and it's back again, so they haven't cleared the dramas aboard the number 28 car.
No, they obviously plugged the hole, but it's unplugged itself by the look of it. So.
Down they come. Rusty French behind Jim Richards. Bauer's margin now is out to 5.5 seconds. Tony Karanfilowski trying to pull away from Cam Tilley. Great job today in the pacer, and here comes Gomersall with that two-wheel and feeling just before. Went down to the chicane here. Almost halfway home in race 2 of the Touring Car Masters. The final time here at Sydney Olympic Park.
And I think I can almost tell you that these guys would relish the fact that this is the last time at Sydney Motorsport Park for these particular cars, because they really aren't that well suited. But here comes the 17 Falcon again, and obviously they've put the coil lube back in or something.
It's a good sign.
Yeah.
Steve will hear about this from you later on, won't he?
He certainly will.
Out he comes to rejoin the race. Was very solid yesterday during race number 1. I love the battles he's been having with John Bowe. There's a bit of friction at one of the races early this year, but you expect that in motor racing. We don't get enough of that these days.
Well, you know, this is supposed to be gentleman racing, but let me tell you, at the end of the day, these guys, you know, deep down inside, they just want to win their races. And I know Bowie for sure. He's never been any different. Doesn't matter what he's in, he's always very, very competitive.
So whatever the issue is with Brad Tilley, it's not slowing him down as he looks to put the pass on Rusty French.
Yeah, Rusty's covering pretty well there too.
One of the most defensive drivers in the field, probably second to Bowe, I'd say, when it comes to defensive driving.
Yeah, pretty hard to pass sometimes. See, that oil leak looks like that's getting a little bit worse for Brad Tilley. But as long as it's not putting oil down anywhere and just burning on the exhaust, it's really not a problem.
Yeah.
Until such time as it runs out of oil, of course.
Exactly right. It's Leo Tobin in the background. Some bleary eyes down at that team after helping the White Line Transport crew fix both their cars last night. It's the untold stories, really, that we leave the circuit sort of late in the evening here, and some of these teams often go without sleep once there's been an incident the day before.
Yeah, they do, and that's just the nature of the business, because, you know, they all just want to make sure that they give it their best.
So Rusty French with Tilley and Leo Tobin.
Yeah, and covering pretty well, Rusty. He's doing a great job.
He's cut a few laps in his career.
He certainly has, and not only here, but also overseas as well.
Yeah. Down they come to turn 9. So Bowe shutting the race down and sets the race lap record on the previous lap, 136.84. So go back to the battle between Tilley and Jason Gomersall. The last time we'll see Iseek on the side of the Tirana here. He's going to be changing the business over summertime. He will be back, we know that much. Supporting some of the great young guys of Australian motorsport. Todd Hazelwood in our Supercars Dunlop series. He's helped the likes of George Miedeke over the years as well.
He's been around for a long, long time, and he's really, really helped a lot of young guys come through, which is terrific.
Very intelligent guy, an IT guru, if you will, an IT nerd.
Yeah.
I think he's often been described as. This beautifully prepared Matt Stone Tirana. Ran a Tirana last year, but waited for the rule change, which allowed the two-door version to come in. It's a car that he's always wanted to race.
Yep.
The minute it got off the trailer, it was fast.
And they're a pretty-looking car, really, aren't they?
Absolutely. Down to the 6 and 7 chicane. Cam Tilley's hope of a really hot day hasn't really shown. That car was really good in practice and qualifying on Friday with temperatures upwards of 38 degrees.
Yeah, that suits some cars more than others, you know, when the temperatures are high, because the grip level is down, and depending on the suspension setup, it's just how well the cars work in different conditions.
We saw Leo Tobin debut that awesome Boss Mustang at Winton earlier this year. He sold the HQ, which is in the field here, to Darren Bill. He's running back in 13th place. And again, Stephen Johnson becoming best friends with Pit Lane here today. As in comes the 17 car.
Well, at least it runs.
At least it runs. Lap by lap.
And hasn't caused any sort of a safety car incident.
Well, it was that bad that he didn't even take the start at Queensland this year. So...
yeah, that was unfortunate because they had an issue with a cylinder head where it dropped the valve, and that put paid to the obviously to the whole weekend.
Let's jump on board with Adam Bressington here and go for a full lap. Was it enticing to jump back behind the wheel?
No. It's too warm in there for me.
So one of the guys carrying a dashboard fan the other day as the only source of air conditioning, keeping up with the spec of the car from the 60s.
That's a fan underneath the dash, you know.
That's a bit high-tech.
It's extremely high-tech.
The conditions inside these cars, with no insulation, basically a metal floor pan inside the car.
I noticed he's got a shorter gear lever too.
Yeah. To be patient with the throttle. Lots of horsepower.
A bit of wheel spin there.
The work continues on the number 17 car while Steve Johnson just chills out on a Sunday morning. Stay on board with Bressington. Sent back down to pit lane with Cam.
Yeah, two separate issues for Stevie J. First time it was a connector that had come undone. This time the engine's just cut out while he was on track.
You often wonder what happens when you leave the circuit at night. Where do these gremlins come from? Do they live in the trees? Do they live under the car? What happens?
You know, it can be something that's done inadvertently, where somebody leans on something or bumps something, or, you know, where you get a minor short somewhere where a wire's chafed or whatever. But at the end of the day, that's what it's all about. You've just got to make sure all these things don't happen.
So John Bowe out to 10 seconds. You can't even see Glenn Seaton in that shot.
No, JB's out there, and you know damn well he wants to leave here with the lap record. But so I think that could be a serious sort of a challenge in the final race.
No question. 100 career pole position yesterday in Touring Car Masters, or for his whole career. 45 of them been set in this category alone. Looking for his 5th championship. I think he'll just continue racing forever. Like Jim Richards, and just keep going.
Well, he's almost turned into the Murray Carter of motorsport, hasn't he?
It brings back a name.
Yeah, it does.
Time does fly on by. 10 years ago, he was wrapping up his supercar career. Since then, he jumped into this class and dominated it. Brought a few of his friends along the way to join the category.
Yeah, he's been very good for the category. You know, he does try and help a lot of the younger guys come through, and certainly with their car setups and things. So that's pretty important, and that's just the nature of this category.
I don't think you'll find us the shock horror, but I just got the word through from pit lane. Murray Carter raced just last weekend at Island Magic.
Well, I think Bowie's trying to get his record.
That's impressive stuff. I remember growing up, studying my commentary career, and seeing guys like Brian Sampson still racing back in the days.
Oh.
Yeah. Am I showing my age, perhaps?
Yeah, correct.
Final lap now for John Bowe. He comes down to turn number 1. And the gap's settled with a new lap record in the race of 136.84. Here's Glenn Seaton. 8-point extension in the championship will put it out to 84 points and should be enough.
Well, barring a failure for JB, one would have to say that he will be crowned yet again the TCM champion.
He came into this race with 76 points as the margin. It's been extended out by another 8 points, so it should be enough to wrap up the championship in this one alone. 60 points on offer for each race. And today with the trophy race we run for the final one of the day. You get 25 points for starting and 25 for finishing. So Championship 5 looks pretty much a certainty here.
And JB's had a tremendous amount of support from, you know, Wilson Security and Pace over the years, and that's something that's been going for years and years, and he's been a fantastic ambassador for them.
Down he comes. Even on the last lap, he's extending the lead. Just looking to break the spirit of Glenn Seaton here as he sweeps on by a lot of John Bowe fans here this weekend. Some Wilson Security shirts getting around.
One or two, mate. They've been around for a while.
Absolutely. The Tirana through the last set of turns. It's been a hell of a career. 100 pole positions in the bag yesterday. He finished second in race number 1 and collects the race and the championship. John Bowe wins race 2 of the Touring Car Masters. And the crew just give a bit of a golf clap on the way through. Fairly emotionless down there. I'm sure they just want to get the third one locked away.
A lot of his good sponsors there too, you know, from Rare Spares and that. Dave's been around the business for a long, long time too.
And we do see a lot of good names that have been around for a long time end up in Touring Car Masters. I've seen some famous faces down that paddock over the past couple of years.
Yeah, absolutely.
Great reward for the White Line team as we see King and Bresington come home for 5th and 6th position. Great reward to the team that will be looking forward to a good night's sleep tonight. Jason Gomersall finishing behind with Cam Tilley, and Jim Richards, after being inducted into the Australian Motorsport Hall of Fame, will finish back in 9th. Confirmation, Bowe wins the race and the championship in the Touring Car Masters here at Sydney Olympic Park. Seaton 14 seconds down the road. Abel Nico 3rd. Karen Filosky, Mark King, Bresington, Gomersall, Tilley, Richards and Rusty French back to 10th spot. Brad Tilley got home aboard the 28 machine with Leo Tobin and Darren Bill. Tough break for Stephen Johnson, though, with those issues plaguing his efforts in race 2. And Rusty French just gets to the line.
My goodness.
Wow. We just picked it up as he crossed the line. A heap of smoke coming out the number 4 car. We're watching the 28 machine.
Well, exactly, and let's hope that that's nothing too serious because, you know, I know Rusty would certainly love to finish.
It's happening before the last corner, giving everyone else a smoke screen behind, and judging by the sliding action, it might be dropping some funky stuff on the track on the exit.
Well, that'll be nice for the next one.